Hello, and thank you for your interest in the AUTOsample 60, part of our growing lineup of accessories for our benchtop and NMR spectrometer. My name is Terry, and I'm an application chemist at Analysis Corporation. Today, I will show you how to unbox, set up, and use the sample changer. Inside the box, you will find the AUTOsampler itself, as well as boxes containing 2 carousels, the power supply, as well as a USB cable used to connect the sample changer to the spectrometer. To remove the AUTOsampler, gently lift it out of its foam enclosure and place it on a flat surface. The carousel can be attached to the AUTOsampler by lining up the pegs to the appropriate openings on the AUTOsampler. Once in place, push down gently until you hear the click. Now the AUTOsampler is ready for use. Once the AUTOsampler is unpacked, it is ready to be connected to the NMR Ready 60 spectrometer. Carefully lift the AUTOsampler so that it sits flush against the top of the spectrometer and that the engraved logo is pointing towards the user. Plug the power cable into the AUTOsampler. Use the USB cable to connect the AUTOsampler to the spectrometer. The USB-A end goes into the AUTOsampler, while the USB end goes into the spectrometer. Once the cables are connected, the AUTOsampler is ready to be powered on. Once the AUTOsampler is powered on, it should be left on top of the spectrometer to equilibrate before use. Shimming the spectrometer with the AUTOsampler attached is very similar to shimming the spectrometer manually. For this video, I'm going to use a mouse to control the spectrometer so that you can follow what's happening on the screen. Simply click on the status button and choose the appropriate shimming routine that you'd like to perform. In this case, I'm going to choose a medium shim. The spectrometer will prompt you to put the blue tube into the carousel in position number 1. Once that has been completed, click the OK button and the AUTOsampler will put the blue tube into the spectrometer. Once shimming is complete, the blue tube will be automatically removed from the spectrometer and placed back into the carousel in the number 1 slot. To set up an experiment queue, first populate the carousel with the samples you would like to run. Make sure to note which slot in the carousel the samples are placed into. Once the samples are in the carousel, choose the desired parameters for the experiment you wish to run. In this video, I will be requiring data on olive oil sample dissolved in deuterated chloroform. Once the parameters are set, choose the appropriate tube number on the spectrometer and hit the plus icon to add it to the queue. Now you can repeat this process for the other tubes in the carousel, making sure to change the NMR parameters and tube number before hitting the plus icon. With the queuing feature, several NMR experiments can be performed on the same sample. For example, not only can I run a 1D experiment on tube number 19, I can also set up a COSY experiment, as well as an HSQC experiment, all on the same sample. Once the queue is set up, simply press the Go button. The sample changer will automatically place the appropriate tube into the spectrometer and start acquiring NMR data. As you can see, the AUTOsampler is picking up the tube in the number 1 slot and placing it into the spectrometer. While data is being recorded on the first tube, the second tube in line is placed into the sample warmer in the middle of the carousel. The data can be saved once the queue is completed. Queues can be modified by going into the Setup screen. Within the Setup screen, go to the Queuing tab, and in this tab you can save, rename, delete queues, as well as change the order of the experiments being run. To the left of the carousel is the Emergency Stop button. At any point, the button can be pressed to immediately stop the AUTOsampler from moving. Press the button firmly and an audible click should be heard and the AUTOsampler will immediately stop. On the screen, a prompt will be displayed to guide the users through the emergency stop clearing procedure. Once that has been completed, the AUTOsampler will be ready to use again. To remove the AUTOsampler, first switch the power off and disconnect the power and USB cables. Make sure there are no tubes in the spectrometer. Once that's clear, gently lift the AUTOsampler off the spectrometer and place on a flat surface.